What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? So I've been busy kind of messing around with the new battlefield mode in JP, so I'm gonna break this out into levels and kind of break down how I've been clearing the each of the stages. So every player's deck is a little bit different and varies, so I don't know how helpful it'll be, but just kind of want to cover this just in case you guys are struggling with some of these stages. So against Ginyu, I am just going to go with the Namek Saga category team. Just kind of a quick and easy way to beat this. So I've got the Kid Gohan as leader and the LR Frieza as my sub lead. Ginyu does have the limitation, what was it, damage reduction, and you can't, what was it, still is SA, I think. I'll have to refer back to that, but that was, you know, he does have 2 restrictions. So with the Namek Saga team, it really isn't too much of a struggle. And it's obviously most of them are free to play. The LR Frieza is a little bit more difficult to attain than, you know, the rest of the guys, but you know, the requirement to be able to participate in Battlefield is a rank 150 at least, so you know, you should be able to get these cards, or at least have them in your deck. And it's definitely quite different compared to how it was last time. It's almost like another version of the Extreme Z Awakening battles kind of thing. So for the most part, these guys really don't take that much in damage. They do all link up well with each other, and even Kid Gohan does, you know, share some links, so he's able to get his SA pretty frequently also. And obviously with Raccoon, he does, the more damage he takes, the higher his attack will go up through his passive, up to 70%, so that also helps. And he really doesn't take that much in damage either, as you can see. And Birder has the ability for the nuking passive, so you know, the more ki he collects, the better. And really, the LR Ginyu, even with the SA, he only hits for about 350,000. So for me personally, him and LR Frieza, it's not really an absolute requirement for them to get their SA, but I chose this team initially because it was just the quickest way to do it, and the category does work well. I don't really see the benefit of using this category in later levels or bosses within Battlefield. I think it'll be much harder, so that's kind of why I went ahead and used this particular category right off the bat, because they do really well together. And against Ginyu, it's relatively straightforward. And you know, along with that mentality, I'm going to keep each of these videos in a continuous format, even though they're broken out into separate videos. The cards that were used, like for this video in stage or level 2, none of those cards will be utilized. Basically, I want to keep it to where you know, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or level, whatever you want to call it, it's a continuous flow. So there's not going to be the same cards being used in level 1 versus level 2 or 3. That way you get an idea how I ration my cards throughout, you know, the stages or levels. You get an idea how, you know, how you have to kind of think of a strategy and what leaders and what cards to use depending on, you know, which level you're at, because really I want to reserve my best leader cards toward the end, because you know, for example, like in level 3, you've got the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and the Tech Goku Black, and then obviously the Agility Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So those 3 guys that you have to battle definitely makes it difficult. So that's why I want to reserve the good cards until then. Alright, so we're on to the Vegeta Grade 8, and he does have the damage reduction, and you're not able to stun him either. So those are the limitations for this guy. I'm going to go with a tech team. I'm going to use the Tapion as the lead because he does add +3 ki and 70% boost. The other part is picking the sub lead. I don't want to pick, the greatest leads. I want to reserve that for later, like Angel Goku. So yeah, it's a matter of figuring out who's good enough as a leader or a sub leader, but it's not the best, it's not one of the best units in the game. So in this case, I am going to use Whis for that 30% boost toward attack. He does add ki boost as well. So I definitely want to include Candy Vegito, Bulma, the free-to-play Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. Definitely want to include the Tech Bardock because he does provide the ability to seal SA, which is going to help a lot. And I need one more heavy hitter to reduce HP down, so I'm going to bring LR Goku here. So the main guys hitting are going to be the Tech Bardock and the LR Goku. Bulma is going to be more of a defensive unit. Whis is going to be more or less a support. He does have the ability to reduce attack of the enemies by 20%, I think, so that definitely over time will help. And this does take longer with this format, but I have to ration my good cards for later since, I've got a decent deck and it's a pretty good deck, but it's not like, a whale box or anything, you know what I'm saying? So I have to think about reserving certain units for later on. So it's a good thing that all the attacks centralized in the beginning, so Bulma is, the defender, so that helps with that. And I want to ensure that Bardock is able to get his SA so I can seal Vegeta's attack, super attack. And he hits pretty decent. He hit for about 400,000. I've got him at probably about 80% potential unlocked. So in this case, I don't really need Candy Vegito to get his SA. I just want him to be able to dodge when needed. So LR Goku here, obviously I want that ultra attack and maximize damage that way because Vegeta does have 8 HP bars, so it's a decent chunk. So I want to slowly chip away the attack when I can, or HP when I can. Alright, so for this guy with no real links, looking at about 650,000. Hopefully a critical or additional attack kicks in. Additional attack did, but not for a super, so that is definitely making things a little bit more difficult and dragging it out. But over time, you'll see that Vegeta's attack will slowly start coming down because we're continuing to decrease his attack over time. And it's a good thing that all the attacks are focusing on Bulma here too. That's going to save a lot in HP. And Tapion does pretty well too. He's got the ability to activate criticals as part of his passive, so that helps. So getting hit for about 27,000 against Bulma, much better than anybody else. And he hits pretty decent, 500,000 without criticals, so that also helps. Alright, so back to the rotation of trying to dodge attacks with Candy Vegito, and then get that ultra attack with the LR Goku, and then try and seal SA with the Tech Bardock. But as you can see, I kind of screwed up here. There's not enough ki for him to get his super attack. And I went with a heavy focus on criticals for this guy, so he rarely does combos, so that kind of messed me up a little bit. As you can see, my HP is down quite a bit. But Vegeta's attack is getting less and less, so, that should help. And I'm on my lunch break right now, so I can't upload all the videos, but over the course of the next day or so, I'll start uploading the other levels. That way you can see, how I'm planning out the boss battles based on what cards I have and, whatnot. and which ones to reserve toward the end. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's, you know, it helps to see it visually. Alright, so you can see over time the attack level for Vegeta is definitely coming down, so that definitely does help. Whis does provide that benefit of reducing attacks, so that over time it does help. In this case, I really don't want to risk putting Candy Vegeta up front, even though he can dodge. It's just, you know, the HP is way too low for that kind of risk. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to just go with a normal super attack for Goku here and just kind of slowly chip away. Alright, and thankfully a combo hit here, so the HP should go down. Alright, KO. So that is how it's done. So that was for Elite Stage 1, and I did ration out, you know, the good cards for later, so hopefully this gives you an idea visually on, you know, how to plan these things out, and look for my videos on stage level 1, level 2, and 3.